Yeah, I'll react to that, sure. God, I keep sneezing. Hey guys, all right. Triangles shrinking France. Let's do it. Let's learn. It's a little late, sorry. Hit all the things. Do all the things. Original link to the video, top of the description. Let's go. Love these guys. Love this channel. J Foreman, above 1 million subs. Well deserved. My name's Connor. If you're new, did I say that? Let's go. Let's find out. Why did triangles shrink France? Damn triangles.
Hey Mark, what country am I supposed to be?
Offensive France.
Bienvenue à Homme Carte.
Nous sommes les hommes.
Et voilà, la carte.
Homme carte, homme carte, homme.
I can't even fake French that well, so I'm assuming.
Homme carte, carte. Homme carte, homme carte, homme carte, carte. The Cassini family map of France is quite possible.
So men maps, because I'm assuming cartes is like cartography, so Holmes maps. Is English one of the few, like, is English in the minority when it comes to stating the adjective prior to the noun? You know?
Carte, carte. The Cassini family map of France is quite possibly the most incredible map ever made.
Considering how old it is,
Very. It's astonishing how accurate it is.
also very.
And the story behind it is pretty astonishing too.
Before the Cassinis, the best map of France looked like this.
That's nice.
Not bad.
But also, definitely not good.
In those days, maps weren't very precise. They were more like works of art. But King Louis XIV wanted to know exactly what he was king of, and he wanted a great big map on his bedroom wall. So he called his cartographer friend Giovanni Cassini.
Monsieur, je voudrais une carte.
Une carte.
Une carte, oui, une carte, très grande de mon France.
Bof, je commence.
But of course, it was a lot trickier than just saying.
I'm impressed. I'm trying to say. So, where does the green screen begin? And, I mean, they must be, I feel like it, like right there, maybe? Sorry.
France.
Bof, je commence.
But of course, it was a lot trickier than just saying boff.
When Cassini Googled satellite photography, he found an article saying that it wouldn't be invented for another 300 years.
So Cassini had no option but to use an old-fashioned yet ingenious process called triangulation.
Triangulation works by making triangles. You start by measuring the distance between 2 points.
Then you spy
Pay attention.
out a third point and measure the angles towards it with a massive protractor. Using these measurements,
I didn't pay attention.
Triangulation works by making triangles. You start by measuring the distance between 2 points.
then you spy out a third point and measure the angles towards it with a massive protractor. Using these measurements,
And a bit of maths.
you can plot a stunningly accurate triangle on your map, no matter how big or bumpy the terrain is.
Simply repeat the process over and over again, et voila, a complete and thoroughly accurate map.
Cassini travelled around France with his triangle measuring machinery for years and years until he was too dead to carry on.
So his son, Cassini Jr., took over from his dead dad and continued measuring.
Then Cassini Jr. died and was replaced by his son, Cassini Jr. Jr., the first
No.
Cassini's grandson.
They had first names, you know.
No one cares.
He just knows from that moment on, it's like, whoever my son is going to have to pick up this measuring tape when I'm dead and continue the legacy.
Back then,
Who
France was
cares?
mostly a poverty-stricken rural backwater and not overly partial to the arrival of strangers.
Plus ça change.
This made map-making a dangerous endeavour.
In 1740, the villagers in Les Estables brutally hacked one of Cassini's surveyors to death, believing their strange tools
That was my OCD. I had to wink, but then I had to wink the other eye because I
and modern science.
Sorry.
Estables brutally hacked one of Cassini's surveyors to death, believing their strange tools and modern science were the cause of their failed harvest.
Bang, 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 ow, ow, bang, bang.
But eventually, the Cassinis covered all 600,000 square French kilometres of France and produced this, a map made entirely of triangles.
The king, who by now was a different king, was delighted, until he noticed something wrong.
Zut alors, qu'est-ce que c'est?
Is there a problem?
My country is 20% smaller than I thought it was. You have taken more from me than I won in all my wars. I actually said this.
But your highness, you literally asked for an accurate map.
Well, you could at least bother to fill it in with some details, like villages and rivers, so it's not just triangles.
So Cassini Jr. set about turning his very accurate map
You try.
into a very useful map.
Every church, every farm, every copse, every petrol station was painstakingly marked in the very first modern map of its kind.
And then Cassini Jr. died and was replaced by Cassini Jr. II until the job was finished.
4 generations of the same family taking over 120 years to complete a task is a pretty impressive level of commitment.
Imagine the first son to be like, I'm done. I don't want to. Be like, my father and his father.
In today's terms, that's like someone watching a YouTube video all the way to the end.
In 1793, the Cassini family's now completed enormous 12 by 11 meter map comprising 182 sheets of incroyable detail was proudly
Stolen by the people who'd executed the king the year before.
Napoleon decided the Cassini family's long associated
By the people who'd executed
182 sheets of incroyable detail was proudly
stolen by the people who'd executed the king the year before.
Napoleon decided the
Emperor.
Cassini family's long association with the crown made them enemies of the revolution.
I can't even say like those French sounds to even like try and mimic like incroyable, like incredible. Like I can't even make the sounds that they're making, even if they're not even speaking real French. De France?
And so they confiscated the map, prevented its public use, and threw Cassini in jail.
Napoleon milked the map for magnificent military manoeuvres.
Boff.
It also inspired the Ordnance Survey maps here in Britain and ushered in an age where maps were less about art and more about accurate accuracy.
How astonishing. But perhaps the most astonishing thing about... Oh, that's my time up. Now time for my son to take over.
Your son?
Yep. Here you go, Jay Jr. Just
Hey, Jay
carry on where
Jr.
I left off.
I didn't know he had a son.
Carry on where I left off.
How do they do that? All right, he's regular. I don't know how to do that editing. I wish I did. My voice is cracked.
I didn't know he had a son.
Yes, one flight to Boston, please.
Oh, you're going on holiday to Boston?
No, it's not a holiday. I've just got a question about Napoleon that I need to ask an Ivy League professor.
You know an Ivy League professor?
No, I'm just going to chance it and knock on lots of doors.
You won't be successful.
Yes, I will. I've been practicing.
That's like 15 miles, 20 miles away. How far away is Boston?
Look. £4,000? That sounds very reasonable.
If you really want access to the best Ivy League professors, you need the Great Courses Plus.
The Great Courses what?
The Great Courses Plus.
The Great what plus?
The Great Courses Plus.
The what courses plus?
And so on. The Great Courses Plus is an on-demand video learning
Plus great
service
courses.
with really good lectures and courses from top professors from the Ivy League and other great universities around the world. If you can think of a thing you want to learn about, the Great Courses Plus has almost definitely got a really good video lecture about it. All the fun of learning
Whammin'.
with none of the unfun of exams or homework.
Can I use it to learn about living the French Revolution in the age of Napoleon?
Yes.
Can I use it to learn about the French language and French-speaking countries around the world?
Yes.
Can I use it to learn about the fundamentals of photography?
Yes.
Can I use it to solve the mystery of who stole my yogurt?
No, you'll have to figure that out for yourself.
Whoever committed this crime left these footprints in the fridge.
Who leaves footprints in the fridge?
I've checked the National Footprint Database and there doesn't seem to be a match.
Stop getting sidetracked. We're doing an advert for the Great Courses Plus.
How much?
I want to get something like that. Like I want to get that screen and just that monitor and just have all that stuff running on it and having no idea what it is, just in case like anyone sees my setup. They're like, "Wow, you're so smart!" Like, yeah, monitoring the RPM per minute.
Footprint database and there doesn't seem to be a match.
Stop
Sorry.
getting sidetracked. We're doing an
I
advert
gotta-
for the Great Courses Plus.
How much do I have to pay to use the Great Courses Blue?
The Great Courses Plus.
Oops.
You can try it out for free. As much learning as you like from any of their more than...
Use the /MapMen if you do this, please. If you found it out from this video, if I'm going to react to these videos and be able to get subscribers and money and whatnot, want to make sure you know to use the MapMen to help them grow, get money, whatever.
11,000 brilliant video courses.
Now that really does sound reasonable.
Click on the link in the description below to start your free trial today.
I will. And thanks for introducing me to the Great Courses Times.
The Great Courses Plus, and you're welcome.
No, I practiced my knocking for nothing.
Au cœur de la Transylvanie.
I didn't even
No.
understand what
Professor,
Plus,
Chance, just got a question about the doors.
you won't be successful.
Yes, I will. I've been practicing. Look.
Okay. I remember not fully understanding what he said there and then going on, and then it was relevant to a joke at the end, and I felt like I had to.
Plus, and you're welcome.
No, I practiced my knocking for nothing.
Au cœur de la Transylvanie,
You know, like, you hear that noise?
dans le château
Nothing.
au cœur
Watch the noise.
de la Transylvanie,
Transylvania.
You're welcome.
No, I practiced my knocking for nothing.
au cœur de la Transylvanie,
Transylvania.
dans le château des vampires, il n'y a pas de vampire plus fou
Plus fou.
que Ducule. Il ne mordra ni la bête ni l'homme, parce qu'il est végétarien, et les choses ne vont jamais comme prévu pour Ducule.
Hey, Mark, what time is it?
Hang on.
Map time. The world's smallest time zones.
Let me.
I could check that out too. Isn't China one time zone? Anyway, see you guys next time. Hope you're all doing well. If not, that sucks.